Now, in the last class, we start off with और हम लोगों ने क्या बात करी थी? We talked about कि भाई हमारे पास जो lipids होते हैं, they are what? They are solids while the lipids are liquids. Fats हमारे पास सिर्फ animals में होते हैं, lipids हमारे पास जो होते हैं वो animals और plants दोनों में होते हैं. इन दोनों के जो monomers हैं वो same हैं और वो क्या है? They are one molecule of glycerol along with 3 molecules of fatty acids. Whenever a molecule of glycerol and fatty acids, whenever they join up together, they do so again by the process of what? By the process of condensation. Doing so, they release how many molecules of water? They release 3 molecules of water. And the end product that we get is called as a triglyceride. Right? Now, so again, when many triglycerides join up together, what are they going to give rise to? They're going to give rise to a molecule of either a fat or a lipid. Okay? So again, reminding ourselves again, monomers of fats and lipids, or when fats or lipids are going to be broken down, what are they going to give us? They're going to give us a single molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acids. Whenever fatty acids and glycerol are going to join up together, they would give rise to a molecule of triglyceride, and it's going to release how many molecules of water? 3 molecules of water. So this is something that we talked about in the last class. Now, what we need to know today are some properties of lipids. अब सबसे पहली चीज हमारे पास क्या आती है कि lipids are what we call as good long-term energy stores. Now, what do we mean by long-term energy stores? Is that once your body would be out or would run out of the carbohydrates, हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था polysaccharide, the short-term energy store, only then the lipids are going to be what are going to be or are would be respired. ठीक है? एक चीज याद रखिएगा, lipids are usually respired in कौन सी वाली states? Fasting states. Can anyone tell me what do we mean by the word fasting states? Fasting states क्या होती है? Any ideas what are fasting states? Anyone? Walaikum assalam. When we observe fast like in Ramzan, okay. सवाल ये है शाम के what are fasting states? अच्छा मुझे बात ही बताओ. When a person doesn't drink or eat, very good. Do we fast only in Ramzan? Don't we fast at any other time? हम किसी और वक्त नहीं करते हैं. भाई I fast every day. I do. I fast every day. When Minahil? When Mir? When do we fast? Intermittent fasting. Okay. Or sleeping. Very good, Mipsa. Very good. Very good. Sleeping. Dekho, what are fasting states? As you guys told me, sir, fasting states are long periods without food and water. Is sleeping not a fasting state? While I'm sleeping, am I consuming anything? No, I'm not even drinking water at that time. To us time be my metabolic reactions would be occurring, which would require some sort of energy. So what would once you run out of carbohydrates, once you run out of all the glycogen, what is respired? Then the lipids are respired. ठीक है? दूसरी बात, whenever they are respired, whenever the lipids are respired, हमने कहा, whenever lipids are respired, they give at least twice as much they give twice as much energy as what? As carbohydrates. देखो बेटे लोग, initially हमने बात करी थी कि the carbohydrates, the lipids, the proteins are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, right? So how do we even get the energy ये जो कार्बन कार्बन और कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स होते हैं ना बेटे लोग, ये ब्रेक डाउन होते हैं. दीज बॉन्ड्स आर ब्रोकन डाउन एंड दीज बॉन्ड्स रिलीज एनर्जी. हमारे पास लिपिड्स के अंदर देर आर मोर number of carbon hydrogen bonds than carbohydrates. Hence, whenever lipids are respired, they would give twice as much amount of energy as the carbohydrates. ठीक है? तो हम क्यों, अगर हमने इसका रीजन ही बता दिया, as they contain more carbon hydrogen bonds. ठीक है? अब इसके अलावा, besides energy, what else do lipids do? Do they form some structures? Yes, they do. तो हम कहते हैं कि in plants, lipids produce waxes, right? Plants के पास wax होती है water loss को prevent करने के लिए, such as what? On the leaves we have cuticle, in the xylem vessels we have lignin, right? And either plants के बारे में बात हो गई, and produce skin oil in animals called as what? Sebum. So what do we call the skin oil? We call it the sebum. ठीक है? क्या ये वैक्सेस के अलावा और कुछ बनाते हैं? बिल्कुल बनाते हैं. तो हमने कहा कि they produce in both plants and animals, in even bacteria sometimes, they produce cell membrane, they produce fat soluble hormones. What did we call the fat soluble hormones, मेरे बच्चों? Fat soluble hormones को हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Steroids, and also fat soluble vitamins. ठीक है? और एक और important चीजें क्या करते हैं? They form an insulatory tissue under the skin, over the liver, and kidneys called as adipose tissue. ठीक है? अब before we talk about adipose tissue, मुझे बस एक छोटी सी चीज ये बता दो. What do we mean by this word? Insulatory tissue, or what do we mean by the word insulation? Insulation का मतलब क्या होता है? When are this mean? ठीक है. Okay. Misam, those bonds which are joining up the carbons with the hydrogens are the CH bonds. खैर, सवाल ये है, मेरा सवाल ये है कि भाई what do we mean by the word insulation? Insulation का मतलब क्या होता है? नहीं नहीं, हीट को इंसुलेट करता है, तो इंसुलेट का मतलब क्या हुआ? What do you mean by the word insulate? So if something is insulating, what do you mean by the word insulate? To prevent something. Very good, very good. To prevent what? Very good. To prevent the passage of heat. Insulation का मतलब क्या होता है? To prevent the passage of heat. Let me give you an example. This thermos that I have, right? It's insulatory. Right now it has cold water inside of it, and depending on how many times I'm opening this bottle, this thermos is going to remain, or the water is going to remain cold for up to 10 hours, तकरीबन 10 to 16 hours, right? इसी तरीके से sometimes I put hot coffee in this particular thermos. वो कॉफी ठंडी नहीं रहती, वो कॉफी गर्म रहती है, and again for the very same extent period of time. इंसुलेशन का मतलब क्या होता है कि उस एनीथिंग दैट इज इंसुलेटेड से हीट पास नहीं हो सकती, ना बाहर वाली हीट अंदर आ रही है ना अंदर वाली हीट बाहर जा रही है, ठीक है? लेट मी गिव यू another example. You know, during the winters, whenever we wear the jackets or the sweaters, so sweater, or do they come in with an inbuilt heater? Yeah, for example, let's say I don't like cold a lot. So let's say wait, I was here, I was chilling in my room, I was, lying down, thinking about stuff, and the air conditioner was on 25. मेरी अम्मा आई और उन्होंने क्या करा? She, decreased the temperature up. You guys, was that I like to keep my air conditioner up to 25. My mother came into my room and she turned it down to about 18 degrees Celsius. Take it, and I became very sad. So what I did was I put a blanket over me. तो अभी जो blanket है ये क्या कर रहा है? It does not come in with an inbuilt heater. तो ये, how is it going to warm me down? My body, to maintain its temperature, is slowly releasing off heat. जो भी excess heat है ना, उसको release off कर रही है. What does this blanket do? It prevents the heat from going out. It does not let the heat from going out, causing this region in the blanket to, have a higher temperature compared to the surroundings. And I became happy once again. Yay. ठीक है? तो अब देखो, अब होता क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई हैव a cup of coffee in front of me. So after a while, all of the heat in that particular cup of coffee is going to be released off into the environment, right? मेरी बॉडी में ऐसा नहीं हो रहा. एनवायरनमेंट का जितना भी हमारे पास टेम्परेचर ऊपर नीचे हो जाए, मेरी बॉडी का कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर रहता है. ऐसा नहीं होता कि इफ आई वुड गो टू अ कोल्डर एनवायरनमेंट तो मेरी बॉडी एकदम में सारी की सारी हीट लूज कर दे. It doesn't work this way, right? The reason it doesn't work this way is because of this tissue that we call as adipose tissue. All right. ये adipose tissue क्या करता है? ये हीट को बॉडी से बाहर जाने से, एक्सेस हीट को बॉडी से बाहर जाने से रोकता है. Hence, it's called as a कैसा वाला tissue? It's called as an insulatory tissue. All right. And with this, we're done with the fats and the lipids.